Hi, everyone. Hi, it's Jane
Hi.
Tara from Better
Natalie.
Reading.
Natalie from Better Reading.
Nat's with me today. We're going to talk books. You're all going to come in and tell us what you're reading. We will tell you a little bit about what we're reading. Hi, everyone. They're coming on through now. Very good. We've had a really, really busy time here, haven't we? We've been slammed here with a lot of really big events and wonderful things. And I know many of you watched the ARBIA Awards, the red carpet. And the following day we had the wonderful Geraldine Brooks and Craig Silvey in here for a project that we'll talk more about later. Not today, but later. And that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And poor Cheryl ended up really sick on that day, and she soldiered through, and she ended up in hospital. And she is absolutely fine. I will let everyone know now that she's fine, but she did have to have her gallbladder out. So you can send all your love and best wishes to Cheryl. She will read this later. She's leaving hospital this afternoon, and she will be at home and no doubt, watch this and read the comments. So say hi to her, but it might be a few weeks before she's back on here, that's for sure. So what are we reading, Nat?
Well, we're going to start off with our book of the week, which is Untethered by Ayesha Inoon. This is our book of the week, and it's a debut novel from a Sri Lankan Australian writer about a young Muslim woman's journey and experience of immigration to Australia. So many different themes, lots of different layers for this one. I don't really want to say too much and give it away, but just highly recommend it and definitely read it.
Did that one win the HQ award for an unpublished manuscript?
It was actually the manuscript for this one, and then now it's become her debut.
Yeah, so that's exciting for her, and she got a publishing deal out of it.
Yeah,
and this is her book. So Mary, hello. Sue says, get well, Cheryl. Malvino, Cheryl, all the best. Been there, had that done. You will feel better soon. She will. It was just a slow process of them working out what was going on. But now that she's, had the gallbladder out, it's quite common. I know quite a few people who have. So it's just recovery time now. Melissa, hi Jane and Natalie, do hope Cheryl recovers well. Yes, Mary, Cheryl's fine, and she will be, well, I've told her she's not allowed back in here for a couple of weeks, so she's just got to take a bit of time. So now the next book that you're going to talk about, Nat, is I can't, well, I said no, I can't read it.
Yeah.
It is, I know everyone's raving about it. And her first book, which was similar, because it was a Falling, wasn't it? So she's a former flight attendant.
Yeah. This was, and so Falling was her debut. I think it was the 2021 number one debut thriller of the year, that year.
Yeah.
And now she returns with Drowning, and it follows a father and daughter who are the plane is, I think, crashing. I haven't read it because
we're like, oh my God, Dex, you read this one.
A flight is coming up for me eventually in the near future, so I just don't think I can handle something like this.
From what I read, it goes into the water just after takeoff.
Yeah, pretty much. And so essentially it's just a family's desperate fight to save themselves and the other people on board.
Yeah, so they're underwater, they're at the bottom of the ocean, in a plane, they're running out of air, and they have to, they've got contact with people on the ground, and the people who are in the plane, and they're trying to work out how to get out. And for me, I can't. I absolutely can't. And my other half's a pilot, but I'm still afraid of flying, even though I shouldn't be, because I know it's very safe. But yeah, that
Yeah, I'm not afraid of flying, but I think this will give me a good reason
Yeah,
to
people
be
are
scared of it.
devouring it though. They're
Yeah. Oh,
loving
it's
that.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
I think if you're more of a thrill seeker, this might be something you want to read for an in-flight.
Oh yeah, on a
session.
plane. Yeah.
If
Except
that's something you're into.
yeah, but if someone pulled that out and I was sitting next to them, I'd be white knuckling
Yeah.
and want to cry. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Can you put that book away? That is
Yeah.
totally unacceptable to be reading on a plane. Thank you very much."
Literally.
Yeah. What have you been reading lately?
I'm a bit late to the party, but I've just started reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor
Yeah.
Jenkins Reid. Obviously, it's a huge success, and it's been on my to-be-read list for a very long time.
Mm.
And finally getting into it. I'm only about 25 pages in, so I don't have much to say.
Is that
But,
the first one of hers
I
that you've
think
read?
yeah, I haven't read a Taylor Jenkins Reid novel before. And Daisy Jones and the Six is also on my list, but so is the TV show. Haven't gotten
I
around to
watched the
anything.
TV show. I
Yeah.
was very underwhelmed by the
Oh,
TV show because I
okay.
know the books are great. I just felt like I didn't care enough about the characters, although they're beautiful
Yeah.
and the fashions are fabulous and it's
Yeah.
definitely worth watching. But compared to the book,
Yeah.
where you really kind of, love the band members and everything, yeah, I was a bit.
Well, I
yeah.
do this thing with when I know something's had a show or a movie adaptation, I tend to watch first and then read after because I find that reading will just enhance the story because obviously a movie
Yeah.
or a show doesn't include all of the details. But then when you go and read it, it just enhances that experience. So trying to decide if I should watch first, read later, or the other way around.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm interested to know if anyone else does something similar in terms of watching and reading. Do you like watching what you've read and
Yeah.
do you have a preference before or after?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let us know in the comments. And, even if we're not sort of reading it out right now, we definitely go back and look later. In terms of performing a book, so I read Emboldened when it came out. And we all love Belinda Alexandra and her historicals and her cat book, The Divine Feline. But this one is quite different. It is it's not quite different because it is historical nonfiction merged with memoir. So she takes some characters who have inspired some of her novels and she talks about how they've been inspirational in her life. But it is such a beautiful book with she's an amazing storyteller. But I had a podcast with her as well the other day. So I listened to, because I'd already read it, I listened to the audio. Now, let us know if you do audio. I love audio books. I listen to, because I do a lot of driving, I listen to a lot of audio. And when I saw her, I said, "Have you listened to your audio book yet?" She said, "Not yet." And I said, "You have to, because the woman who is reading, the voiceover artist who is reading this book is phenomenal. She is amazing because in it, Belinda talks about her mother who was Russian and grew up in Harbin and Shanghai in China. And she talks about these really great sort of, Spanish dances and stuff. And the woman who's reading it, she performs it all. With the accents and it is just such a great reading of a book. So if anyone, we're already talking about film adaptations. Do you also, look here, Kerry says we have an audio on our trips too. Great. And do you do fiction or non-fiction? This is non-fiction, but it's, it is amazing. It's such a great listen. Valerie says, I listen to loads of audiobooks on BorrowBox. I use BorrowBox as well. Mary says, I love audiobooks. If you don't know BorrowBox, it is an app that you can use where you borrow audiobooks through your local library. So download that and check it out. You just need to be a member of, a participating library, and you can download, all your audiobooks, and they just disappear from your app once your time is up with them. So it's really, really great, actually. So that's BorrowBox. Read one book, listened to another, currently listening to The Bookbinder of Jericho, Pitt Williams, and just finished The Running Club. Fantastic. I love this. I love seeing that people juggle through different mediums now as well. Josephine, I'm a fan of audio memoir. I listened to Paris Hilton reading her bio, and it was amazingly good. I haven't done that. So she read it. I'll have to listen to that now.
I've heard good
yeah.
things about that one in audio specifically.
Yeah,
so-
people have raved about that. Okay, I'm going to listen to it. Sandra's reading The Secrets of Strangers by Charity Norman. She's very popular.
Mary is reading Kookaburra Cottage by Maya Linnell.
Yeah.
And that's a nice segue.
Yeah.
This is a delightful rural romance from the best-selling author of Paperbark Hill, who I'm sure you're all very familiar with. It's a perfect escapism, full of warmth and hope. Rural romance, you can't really go wrong with it.
Yeah, she does like that small country town or the community. She does the feeling of community, and
really
you read her books, and then at the end of it, you're like, I just want to move there, and you Google to see if it's an actual place. Or maybe that's just me, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good one. And our review is up now as well on our website, so go and check that out if you haven't. I guess in the theme of romance, Dex is going to put on screen One More Time by Mandy Magro.
Yeah.
It's about a rekindled romance between, it's her 70th birthday, the protagonist's 70th birthday, and a former flame comes to her birthday, and where he sort of professes his love, and then they sort of go on a journey of looking at the highs and lows of their past relationship. Weaves together themes of love, loss, and the transformative power of second chances, and also has a stunning Australian seaside backdrop, which is almost like a character in itself in some ways with this book. So.
Just with that one, I didn't review this one, but I have taken a copy home because that's just, I love older characters in books as well, and I just really want to savor this one in a week off or something. Oh, man, the cover's over my face, yeah.
Matches your shirt though.
Faye is listening to The Wonderful Thing About Phoenix Rose. It's kind of freezing a little bit. Tars, borrow boxes free with your library membership. Oh, is it now? Oh, I didn't realize that now. Yeah, okay, great. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Kim is reading that. Kerry says we do a bit of fiction and non-fiction. Jessica says I read first and then watch. Very good. And Tracy, I'm reading The Collected Regrets of Clover. Is that Clover Moore? Clover.
Clover. I think it's just Clover.
Clover.
The Collected Regrets of Clover.
Clover.
Mickey Bremer.
Mickey Bremer. Yeah. I'm just going to give this one a shout out. This one came onto my desk, and I was having a little look at it because we do a column in The Australian every few weeks with the notable books. So I thought this would be a really good fit. Fighting Fate by Justin Yerbury. It is a phenomenal read, really incredible, made more so because Justin wrote this using technology that tracked because he's 99%, he's frozen 99%, he just moves his eyeballs, and so he wrote the book with this technology tracking his eyeball movement.
That's insane.
It's absolutely amazing. And over the past 100 years, there have been 70 members of his family that have died of motor neurone disease. So as a young man, he dedicated his life to studying medicine, went into research, was a leading researcher into motor neuron disease when he was standing up in front of an audience about to give a speech, and his finger wouldn't move, and he knew what it meant. Wow. And so he has it too. But it is a really inspirational story, and all the proceeds of this book go to a charity that fights motor neuron disease.
Wow. Love to hear that in audio as well. That would be an interesting one.
Yeah. Mm.
The last book I want to talk about is House of Longing by Tara Calaby. It is a debut. It's an irresistible queer historical romance set in 1890s Melbourne. It's a beautiful romance that'll break your heart, restore it, and also soar it with hope. Looks at misogyny and a lot of the different, I guess, things that were considered taboo at the time, but puts a nice little spin on that as well.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
protagonist was like put into an asylum when she was
Yes.
grieving the loss of her lesbian lover.
Yeah.
And, because the people around her father just didn't want to deal with that
Yeah.
type of grief. And she discovered that a lot of the women in this asylum were there for reasons other than lunacy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So very interesting one, and check that one out.
Mm. All right. Well, that's it for today. We will definitely see you next week. Who have we got next week coming in?
Naima Brown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wrote The Shot.
The
I
Shot.
believe.
Yes.
And she recorded a podcast with Cheryl recently, which is coming out in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But she'll be on for What Are You Reading next week, which is very exciting.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. And until then, just keep reading and watching movies and listening to books and all of it. We'll see you next week.